Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the 100K Bink or Bust Bankroll Challenge. This is day 27, and our bankroll is back to 4,800 after a very bad Friday. It's a big bad. Let's look at it. So we had that real bad stretch on Friday. Yesterday, Saturday, we had a really good run. So we will pull up Poker Craft and show that to you guys. We're making some tweaks to the game. I think we generally pretty study heavy when we have a really bad day because we just feel like we played terrible. So we really go after it, which I think is probably a good thing. This board against this guy, we're just going to bet. Okay, the ace hits. I think we check Paul turn. Alright, now I value that river. It's not fold, unfortunately. 10 of clubs, interesting. Queen 10, Jack 10, probably. We raise the fours. But yeah, we usually take the bag downswings as a push to hit books. So we do a lot of GTO, we watch the videos, we did all that good stuff. I actually find it boosts the motivation to play too. The more I learn, the more you want to sit down and play. Which, like literally when I start, as soon as we fire up GTO, like every time, I just get this like insane drive to want to play poker. So I think that's obviously a good thing. He raised the king 9 here. Hoping to get some tables open. Right now, we can probably try to start an NL50 table since it's full. Avoid people jumping into the NL25 games if they don't want to play it. Fold Jack 7. We will fold to the 3-bet. I don't want these on. Okay. Just adjusting here. Hair's a little crazy this morning. Time for a haircut. I guess I'd pull the stream link up as well quick. Just give me a second. Alright, Queen 5 suited, we'll bump up. Pocket queens. We'll 3-bet. So we ran King Queen into Ace King twice up here, doubled up Tri-Land, and we've actually tripled up Jamaican Passion. Fortunately. 3 ways on this board. Rhino likes to bluff and bet, so I think checking to him is definitely a good option. The 8's not the greatest card, but I don't think Rhino has an 8. He's definitely one to bet it. And A-Rouse is... Excuse me. Oh, Ace is not great. It's good for our range, but... that's interesting. So... I think... I think I check here. Yeah, I don't think there's much that calls us, to be honest, when we bet with the 8 out there. Sorry, guys. Allergies are kicking in. Sneeze attacking. It might be a little nitty, but against this specific player who does like the bluff, holy Moses. Apologize. Alright, try to talk here before we have another sneeze attack. When the 8 falls and then the ace falls, there's some... Oh man. Think about portion of his range. Good lord. That's looking to check shove. Ace is probably going to check call. 8s are going to check shove straight. It's like 6-9 suited, which he could have. Oh man. This is ridiculous. Obviously unlikely. I don't know, maybe it's just a little nitty with the queens, but I think when the ace falls, like... Holy man. It really becomes extremely difficult to get paid off there. The worst hand. So I think checking the queens is probably okay. Could be a little nitty though. Anything but an ace, I would bet. We're going to call one here. And then we're just going to call turn and then shove and or call a shove on the river. Pretty much no matter what fall. Oh, just always shoves. Oh, come on, man. It's going to be one of these days again. But anyways, can't even talk about this thing. So just keep sneezing. We're almost sneezing. Good God. No one bring that over. We're over here. Okay. Four, 9, 8. Oh, goodness gracious. Might have to take a break here for a second. Okay, so alright, give me a second, guys. Sneeze is killing me. Need the stream. There. Yep. Okay. Lost a couple players already. Just left for 2 seconds. Alright, we're back. So we got stacked again with a cooler up there. So that's fine. Light. Sign in. This again. Hold the 10 8. Sorry, just gotta do some fiddling over here. Okay. It's YouTube. Sorry, I've got to sign into my YouTube. For whatever reason, when I sign in on Safari, it like completely locks my account out and all this crazy stuff. Deuce, 8-7. That's good. The 7-8. I guess we fold here with 2 callers. There's me. I don't need to change it. Just stop it. Alright. I think we're good now. Let's try it and see. Alright, ace king suited. Sorry. It's going to affect our gameplay here too. Just trying to get signed in here. For whatever reason, this thing locks me out all the time. Drives me nuts. Okay, we're good. Yep. And we're back. Yeah. I don't know. I have 2 different browsers, and anytime I sign in on the one browser, I get like booted out of the other one, and then it thinks it's like a security breach, and it's like a whole big drama fest. All right, king deuce 9. Generally, we go small here. Oh, he folds pretty quickly, fortunately. So that's good to go. Stream's good to go. Let's just get back into here. All right. I think we gotta turn the music slightly here. Like, missed a good spot there. Lots going on here, too. Right, well, you guys just let me know about the music volume. I think it's okay, though. If it's a little loud, let me know. Still can't get this microphone to go any louder for some reason. But anyways, okay. So here we were on Friday. Wow. I think we just have the ISO here. There's a lot of dead money out there. Okay, so Zumalia limp calls. I'm gonna take that as pretty suspicious. The thing is, he doesn't raise. I think if he had ace, his limp call around would work. Okay, it's good flop for us though. I think checking's fine here. I think. Wow, what is going on here? I think I have to call one. It's gonna, we might end up getting stacked here. If Zumalia shoves, I don't know what to do. Or snap check. Nice. Yeah, it's close there. It's definitely close. As to bet ourselves or just take the check call line and let them bluff. The thing is, like, the open limp, it's sketchy. That if somebody's like actually pretty aggressive. But the open limp at a fish and Rex, and pretty much everybody is like to limp and then hope that like somebody raises and then hope that another player will like squeeze out raise, and then you can just like shove and kind of get all your money in pre-flop, right? And like, it's obviously been proven to be a pretty bad play, which is why it just doesn't happen anymore. And no reg actually like limp raises aces, maybe randomly just to mix it up, but there's no point unless you're having an open limp strategy. There's no point in adding aces to just randomly start open limping, unless you do that frequently with a bunch of hands, and then the aces are there to protect it. But basically it just doesn't happen. Fish do it, but he would have raised, right? That's kind of the whole point. Then the ace on the flop makes it even less likely. And then you're just kind of in an awkward spot. I don't know about the river. If he shipped river, I might have... It would have been close. Probably would have called, getting like 3-1. But we're not ahead that often. But like ace-10 is probably like right at the cusp. Like ace-jack, I probably would have bet ourselves on the flop. But ace-10's close. And ace-10's like in that premium range enough where you would expect like ace jack, ace queen, ace king from bad boy to raise, and you would really expect Zumalia to theoretically raise ace jack, ace queen, ace king pre-flop, and definitely in ISO ace king raises. So we're kind of really only scared of Zumalia having ace jack or ace queen, or obviously like ace 5. So it's close. It is really close because all the aces that we beat, like, we just dodged everything there, right? Like, we lose to all the ace jack, ace queen, ace king, and then we lose to ace 8, ace 3, ace 5, ace deuce, ace 4. Like, the odds of us winning that hand were like next to nothing. So I think, yeah, I think if he shoved and we managed to actually have 10 seconds to put all that together, we probably would have just folded in the end. And we're of course like value betting here, but we're just going small. And the reason we're going small is not necessarily because the club came off, because like 4 to a straight is hard to get paid. So you need to go small and hope that they have like ace king, ace queen, ace jack, jack queen, jack 9, you know, stuff like that, or a set. Sets are unlikely because they would have probably raised earlier, but you got to target those hands to try to get paid off. And it's player dependent too. Obviously, some guys will be 9-7 suited raise. More prone to call like an overbet, thinking you're bluffing if you don't really have very many tens or something like that. Okay, it's a good flop. We're just gonna bet it for value. Heads up, second pair is a very strong hand, and then obviously we have backdoor straight draws and the flush draw. So anyways, yeah, let's go back to Friday. Friday we played 4,000 hands and we lost 300. Now that's pre-rake, so we actually lost like 650 or something like that day, and then we got 50% of that rake back. So we ended up down like 500 or something. Bankroll basically went from 800 to 200, like 4,800 to 4,200. But so it was a little bit tilted. We were pretty tilted into day Friday. It was a frustrating session where we massively overcalled in a lot of spots, and they were tough spots with like pocket aces, pocket queens, that kind of thing, where they just had 2 pair, they had a set, and all the money just went in, and we weren't playing the boards properly, and we were just making a lot of mistakes, unfortunately. So it was frustrating in that sense that, like, you know, it was a lot of aces, kings, queens, 3-bet pot, bet flop, they call. We bet turn, they shove, we call, they had turned a set for 2 pair, right? So there's a lot of that. It was pretty frustrating, but it's bound to happen. And it's just kind of part of the game. We do try to channel that, like you said, into something a little bit more positive and push that to make ourselves study a whole bunch. So we did do that. Here, heads up, like this is close, but I think we just top 2 pairs have to call down. And if he has a flush, he has a flush. But I think, yeah, it kind of is what it is. Yeah. I don't think that's the end of the world. I think if you're folding top 2 heads up against like a 50 or 30 big blind stack, you're just going to get run over. Tens are a mix here against early position opens. Probably better to 3-bet against Zumalia here. We definitely call them tens. Double up and leads, that's cool. We do check call here. I think we just let the 10 go. See what cards out there. I know he's got a massive range, but what happened here? Yeah, he bet we checked. He bet full pot, we called. We're just expecting to rip this turn. Call. Nice hand. It's actually got outs. 4 outs. Yeah, we can run it twice. And we're of course 3-betting the ace-8 suited. Okay, what are we dodging here? We're dodging a 3. Okay, so that was that. So then the 12th rolled around, which was yesterday. 473. I did win that, right? Yeah. Oh, he just rebought. What the fuck did happen? He called 4 these offsuit. So he's just calling every single hand, which is good to know. I'm gonna value bet here with the deuce. Okay. And we're gonna call if he shoves. Oh, come on, bro. It's setting up. And obviously ISO here with the ace-10 suited. We gotta focus in here in a minute. Okay, raise, he calls. Ace high is gonna be the best hand here a lot of the time. King rolls off. I think we bet, and then I'm just gonna shove river. Unless he shoves, we'll fold. Okay, so he 3-bet pre-flop, he calls. I think we'll bet this time on this board. He does call, club rolls off. It's not the greatest of cards. I think we have to check back here now. It's not the greatest of cards either. Not a great run out for aces. So yeah, when he goes full pot, it's fold, unfortunately. Even if he has thing. If he had a hand like queens or jacks, I doubt he rip shoves there almost ever. Maybe we'll fold the 9-3. And queen 4 will be a fold. We're going to ISO the king 8. 10-7 suited, we will raise, mix in some portion of the time, just not very often. Yeah. It is sometimes hard to play against these short stacks. They kind of take a lot of these lines where they just call everything and then they just check shove a ton. He checks, so we're going to bet again. We are going to call the queen here, I think, after it checks around. Oh, that's a fold now. And we'll bet again on the turn. And we'll bet again on the river. This guy's just like a huge station. Super good. Wasn't very good typing there, was it? But we can make it out. So whatever. And we'll check to him. So we'll play this heads up handout, and then we'll get back to the chart update quickly. We're just gonna think for a couple seconds. Make a call. Ace king suited, we're gonna raise. If better than you 3-bets, we will 4-bet and call a shove. And we check to him. And we call. Nice. Trying dead the 2-outs. Run it twice, I will if you would like. Yes. I hate running it once, so any opportunity to run it twice, I will take it 100% of the time. I think keeping the variance lower is good for everybody's sanity. So, oh, buys in for the rest of the stack. All right, get interesting here. And we'll just backtrack quickly here to yesterday. So yesterday we put in 4,700 hands. We managed to win $620. I think we just check the ace queen here. Okay, so rebuys. Now he's getting into the 3-betting. We do call the 7-8 suited for now. Let's fold here. It's probably a little bit tilted. 7-8. He's got an ace. 7-8 suited. Like, you got to keep in mind with heads up. The GTO charts assume players are 3-betting properly, which is obviously just like not really a thing. So you do have to be more cautious calling than what GTO tells you to do, because their 3-bet range is going to be so significantly stronger. But anyways, yeah, so yesterday we had a good run up, right up to 600, so we won pretty much everything we lost back, and then we did finish like 5th or 4th. For I think just under 100. Okay, here we are. I think I'm just gonna ship it. I think he calls the ace jack ace queen suited with the way he's been playing. So yeah, I think we just want to get it in there. Yeah, diamonds. Oh baby, the free roll for the win. And the ace jack, we're gonna check call. Let's see what his stats are. 3-bet 5 just uses moves in 4-bet, he's small bet. Oh, that's why. So he definitely likes to call. I think we're gonna double barrel him, given the likelihood of how wide his range is. Calls again. I know this is like probably really bad, but I think at this point, I'm just ripping him. The bad run out, unless he has Jack 10, Queen 10, it's going to be hard for him to call a lot of his range there. So, and given like notes that we have on him and how much he's calling pre-flop, like he just got a wide enough range that even though we have some diamonds here, like I think we just gotta rip it. We have tens, we have jacks, we have queens, we have ace king, we have ace queen, we have pocket kings, we have pocket aces. So yeah, the money just goes in. I do think he's 10 calling though, to be honest. Like I think he's probably a little too stubborn to fold. If he hit like ace jack or something. Actually, I think he probably folds ace jack. Yeah, I don't know. He probably had a 10 there, I think. With 2 overcards that come out. It's going to be hard for him to call. And we were kind of just committed to the bluff at that point. And it is what it is. I'd rather lean. And I think, generally speaking, if you think it's close between bluffing and not bluffing, I think people generally overfold and people underbluff. So if you're kind of back and forth on if you think it's close between bluffing and not bluffing, I think you should just pull the trigger and just fire the bluff. I think. So he checks back here. I don't think he ever checks back an ace or queen. So we're gonna check all turn. We might check back a queen some portion of the time. But we're going to call one, and then if he bets again, we're going to call, because I don't think he ever does double barrels a queen here after checking back flop. Okay, we were wrong. But I did not expect him to double barrel a queen, especially when the flush comes out. I think people generally shut down too much. So against small bets, I think it's fine to call. Queen 6 suited, we fold. King 9 versus 3-bet, we'll just let it go. We do squeeze the ace king offsuit, pretty standard. If Jake Teeth here shoves or raises, I'm actually just folding. Because he is never bluffing. And like he'll only raise kings and aces, I think, in this spot. Jack 3-6 with 2 callers. I think it's gonna be hard to get folds here. I think we kind of just have to be done with the hand. We will check call a small bet, like anything that's 10 bigs and less we'll call. Half pot, well, we are not going to be calling a half pot bet, especially the shove there, so we're just gonna get away. I think that's something you'll find too, is people will 3-bet and over c-bet a lot. Probably need to get on the wait list for this 1-2 table. Tempting to sit that one, but both the fish are super short stacks. And then we'd be on the left. We'd have a. I don't even know what to think of the period cell, print cell. It's uncertain. We're gonna raise here. We're gonna open up this here. Holding the king 5. We're gonna check the king 9 on this board. Never bluff. Yeah, we just got marking with a fish here. The king 9 is just a check fold. A lot of our value from the small blind is just raising and stealing because people are mass over folding from the big blind. Seems to do a lot of stealing, and then because you're turning a profit by stealing, you can play relatively straightforward post flop and not take too many like marginal situations. I think as you move up, those marginal situations become more important to take because you kind of need every edge you can find to turn a win rate. Okay, we check 7-3. This table's dwindling, unfortunately. The queen 10 suited. JC 3-bets. I think I'll 3-bet here, but I do think it's close. And it might actually be a fold to an under the gun open. Now, in position in 3-bet pots, I think we've gone over this before, but fish generally overcall like king queen, king jack, ace jack, ace 10 type hands. So when you get the small small boards, they generally don't hit them as strong as you might expect it to, because they're overcalling like ace king and stuff like that. Obviously they're going to have like 8s and 6s and 7s and 3s and deuce in their range, but again, they do also have all of those missed overcards. So it's just something to keep in mind. And we're just gonna bet here, I think. But yeah, like fish don't understand that calling 5-4 suited to a 3-bet is better than calling king queen offsuit, or ace jack offsuit, right? Like they don't understand. So because of that, they call too much. This is an interesting spot. I think I'm just gonna go sort of 3/4 pot. Fold to the 7. Goes into the tank buster. This is interesting. Okay. Well, I am going to shove here for value. I don't think he ever goes this small with a flush. And again, if he does and he lures me in, so be it. Like if he bets small here to induce a bluff, like that's a pretty high, a higher IQ play. I don't expect him to do that. I expect him to be blocking. Maybe he has 2 pair a set. 5-6 is obviously sometimes an option, but I think he raises that on the turn. Here, what did we do? We raise, call, flop, we bet the call. So we're going to check back on the king, and then I'm just calling any stabs on the river. And here, we'll check the side. Probably do a lot of check raising on this board. We block 7-8, we block 8-9, and we have an open ender and a backdoor straight draw, so I think anything but check raising here is bad. He tanks down and checks. With the flush hitting and the 4s out there, I think betting here we just don't get paid off enough. I think like at King X, jacks are close because he might call a tank. Come on, bro, call your set of 4s. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Hope he doesn't have 5-6. That'd be brutal. Tank all down here and you just scare the flush. Ooh, that's a go. Oh, did anybody hit the bad beat list? Oh, did somebody hit it again? I called it though. Told you that was gonna hit. It was gonna hit. What time did it hit? 11:40. Got it. Hurt me off. 2 mega nits. Got it. That's unfortunate. The guy who hit it last week and a half ago was like a massive payoff. That was great for the game. That guy was sitting 4 tables after hitting that every single morning, so that was fun. But anyways, back to this hand. I think it's close. Against Terry and against guys who are capable of like check raise bluffing, maybe it becomes a little bit tighter, but I think you still got to be value betting enough. But being that he's in the big blind, like he doesn't have too many 4s because his 4s are, we check back turns. So yeah, he could have a 4 because we check back turn. And he can have a king. And then the flush draws are just scary, which makes it harder to get paid off by like pocket 7s, pocket 8s. So pretty much the only hand that calls is a 10. But it is close. Like when we do think we have the best hand the majority of the time. Then we do want to be doing a lot of value betting. Here with the ace of diamonds, we do have an overcard. We have backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, and overcards. So now, he leads into us on the diamond. We have the ace of diamonds. I think I'm gonna call, obviously. I just think it's weird. And it's a weird dog lead from him, but he does do a lot of random stuff. I think we just check down. Sevens, eh? It's a weird one. Well, we should have went with our initial read, because our initial thought was that that's like the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And we should probably raise here with the nut flush, draw, and overcards and stuff, because it's just a super strange play for him to make. We followed fives. The ace, guess, what do we think we get paid the most by? I think maybe we check. Okay. Well, now we just value bet. Edit position, we're just checking. Okay, he checks. Now we do this check and then 2x pot turn a ton when it checks behind. God, nitty little bastard. Didn't get him there though. One of these days, somebody is gonna chase that down. Yeah, I don't know what to think of that with the sevens here. I guess like the diamond and the gut shot leads out. It's just really weird. I don't know. That's a weird one. Okay, we raise the ace-9, fold the ace-7, fold the 3-4 suit. If you guys are just joining us, it's the 100K Bink or Bust Bankroll Challenge. Currently back to 4,800 after a bad Friday and a really good Saturday. And we are well on our way to completing our month or 60-day part 2 of the challenge, whatever you want to call it, which is basically getting to 8,000 and playing NL200. So obviously for those of you who are new, the whole goal is basically to make 100K in 6 to 8 months. And in order to do it in 6K, we basically need to jump a stake every month. Every 30 days, we need to jump a stake. So within our first 30 days, we started with 2,500, we went to 4K and then 100 within 21 days or something like that. So we did have a bit of a bump up, a bit of a bump towards after 60 days being at NL200 and 8K. Right, and if you do the math, each month if we go NL50 to NL100, NL200 to NL500 to NL1K, and we win 40 buy-ins, which is basically what we're moving up at minimum, or at a maximum. We are moving up, taking shots, 20, 30 bigs kind of thing, at really good tables. But basically, if we play a stake and we can win 40 buy-ins, which is basically 130 big blinds basically at every stake. 130 big blinds per day at every stake for 30 days, like every month, then we can essentially double up. So that has to be the goal. I think it's super doable. The biggest issue, is one, you gotta run good. Like, we're gonna have to run good to actually get there. Because, we're gonna be hopefully playing 60, 70,000 hands a month to make sure we hit that $133 or 133 big blinds per day. So it's not very many hands. So all it takes is like a 10K stretch of run bad, and we won't be in great shape moving forward. Okay, we hit a 4. We're just going to check Sid. Queen 10 suited. We do call. We do 4-bet. We do fold. So we just kind of mix there. He bets here. I think we just go for the check raise. All Queen 6 suited. King Queen, we're gonna bet. Alright, he calls. I think I'm just gonna bet again. We basically have 2 options here. It's to check if we think he will bluff into us, which he does have a tendency to not fold the check raises very often. So I think here, if he has a queen, he's not gonna call a shove anyways. I think we check here and give him a chance to bluff with 9-10, King 10, and I think it makes it look more like we had a bluff here, like a 10-8, a 9-10, King 10. He doesn't have pocket jacks, he doesn't have pocket queens, and I think when we check, he's going to shove jack queen. King 10. I don't think he calls if we shove. Maybe if we bet like half pot. Yeah, I think checking's best. I think if we shove, he's not calling Queen 10. So we either bet small or we give him a chance to let bluff. And I think honestly, like his weak queens are not going to be a big portion of his range after we check raise flop and then last turn like 70%. Those like terrible queens to start to fold without like redraws or anything. So I think when we get to the river there, I think checking is what we want to do, because checking looks like maybe we picked up a flush draw, maybe we have ace king, maybe we have king 10, maybe we have 9-10, maybe we have 8-10. The issue is he beats all those, so he doesn't really need a bluff. So maybe we should bet there actually. I think betting would have been better. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, pocket aces at the NL 200 table. Could be a good start. Okay, button opens, we 3-bet, and he just snap folds. Okay, good start to the 1-2 table. We pick up aces, and then we... Come on, no action though. Flop the nuts. Ah, look at that. Imagine we just sit down and win the bad beat jackpot. That would have been cool. This guy goes 3x. We'll call. Kings, obviously raising. Flip king jack. The ace 2 suited. We'll let that one go. Fold here. Okay, Sid the Nitty Kid raises. Zumalia calls. So I'm going to shove kings here, and the reason is that with this cold call, when I shove kings, it looks like ace-king. And I think tens and jacks are more likely to call. Snap folds. Ace-queen. Oh, good. There we go. We win. But yeah, I think when you shove there, you get tens and jacks to call some portion of the time. And I think it's... I don't know what GTO does, but I think people see that as ace-king a lot. And they call lighter. Because they don't put you, for whatever reason, people think about hands. They don't think like it's like, oh, that's ace king or aces. Like for whatever reason, they won't put kings or queens in there, and you just get these calls from tens and jacks and like pocket queens and stuff like that. Whereas if like you 4-bet them, I guess we call like I don't even know. This guy just keeps 3xing or just gonna lose, I think, because I have no idea how to play against a 30 big blind stack that's like 3x potting every hand and then potting flop. I don't really want to get tilted by it either. Don't try to bluff me. 3-bets. Pretty sure it's a call 5s. Alright, we're back for now. Not sure how long that'll last. But we'll try to put in a little bit more. I'd like to get an actual stream going one time. But it is harder. I'll tell you that much. I wonder if I should be sitting this 1-2 table. That guy's super fishy. Easy. I don't know what him. Be nice when we get the bankroll up to like 6K. Then I can just start sitting the 1-2 tables. Try to bump up even faster. Tables look okay right now. What do we got? 3 NL100, 2 NL50. We can probably sit in NL50 while we're at it. I need to update my Gerogen count as well, just to get that. Okay, we get an instant sit. 4-3. We'll start with a nitty fold. Yeah, I do want to adjust the delay also a little bit, because I think 5 minutes is probably a little long. I'd like to adjust it down. I should just figure out what the maximum timeline is that somebody could tank into us. I think let's call one here. And that's close. Like, make this straight now. We beat all bunch of ace X. And 2 pairs. I'm gonna call just because I don't know how often he bets the diamond there. So when we do make the straight, I think we call. You have to have like a bad ace with a bad diamond or something most of the time, I think. There. Rolling a river with the 3.5x open. Who'd he stack? Rolling a river. There's calls the jack stuff in. Hard to say. 3.5x, you have to give that more respect. Unless you see them doing it. It's in a couple random hands, so you know. Until then, it's usually a bit of a stronger hand. And based on stack sizes, our 3-betting will adjust slightly. He opened limps. I think 0.7 bigs, we just shoved 6s. Pretty sure. Lafo. And he raised his king. I think on this board, when we do flop top pair top kicker, we want betting. His king raised. Lafo. So we lose to 10s and jacks. But he, I think. I don't know if we shove here. I think we just shove here. Pretty, like, with his stack size, 10s and jacks are way less likely. He's more likely to have, like, some sort of, like, flush draw here, or, like, an 8-9 maybe, or a 9-10. Something like that. He's a fish. He's got a wide range, so. Flop top pair, top kicker to 3-bet pot, I think. And then there's double flush cards out there. I'm not sure if shoving's necessarily best there, if we're ever supposed to do it, but generally speaking, or from what I've always been coached, is double flush boards are good overbetting boards, because that's essentially how we're going to play the hand, like with a bluff or with a big value hand. Like a set, you're gonna like overbet to try to shove river. The issue is in a 3-bet pot, you don't actually do a lot of overbetting, so it could just be a little bit of scared play there maybe, versus betting what we should be betting, kind of thing. Okay, on this board against Zumalia, we're just gonna go small. We're gonna go small here. And I was actually planning to check back turn. I think jack, it gets better. I think we have to call against him. He has king 6 offsuit. I play 70% of hands. Okay. And we're gonna ISO here with the ace 4 suited, and raise the queen out suited. Okay, fold here. Check. Check. This board, these guys, I think I'm just gonna go big here. We block a lot of the hands that are going to check raise us. We just have a ton of equity. If we do, we can just get the money in. So we open limps. We're definitely going to ISO that. We're just going to check to him. We're going to check to him again. And we're going to bet half pot on the river. Sid the Nitty Kid, 3 bets. I think we need to make some calls here. He seems to be 3 betting on us quite often out of the small blind. Check here. I'm going to call 1 bottom pair. That's not a great turn card. It's Jack, King, Jack, Queen, Jack, King, Queen, 7-8 suited if he has that. All those get there. So now we're just going to be like folding. We're definitely going to have to study into him a bit more. Because he does a lot of free betting and it's actually starting to get annoying. Doesn't like to fold, likes to 3 bet. Definitely a rag. Okay, we raise the ace-9. We're gonna ISO the queen 7 suited. And on the first, we go half pot. Snap calls. Try to go for a block bet here, and we're gonna squeeze here. Yeah, we're just giving up. Unfortunately, snap checks again. Good lord. He just has an ace, that's the issue. Like, limp called ace 4 off, hit the ace. Nothing you can do about it, he's not folding, so. Okay, I guess we fold. This guy is a fish. What do we have here? 8s and aces. Or call. This is your CTG open. Cut off and raised. That's pretty terrible from the pocket 8s there. So Sid the Nitty Kid, I think we're going to start taking 4 better fold lines for the most part. Okay, we're going family pot here. So we ISO the kings. Fold the queen 8, fold the queen deuce. Alright, we're just going to shove the pocket kings again. Again, I think this looks a lot weaker. That just likes 4 betting. And Sid the Nitty Kid. He does. The only issue is that he does like squeeze pretty light. This king, Jack 10, no ace. Good start. Alright. Basically dodging an ace and running diamonds at this point. Or Jack 10. Whatever. It is what it is, right? We're in way good. If we lose, we lose. Alright, great outcome there. We do, of course, call the 9s. We do, of course, call the king 9. Alright, yeah, ace 2 there. Did turn check around? No, he bet turn. I don't know why this guy's going into the tank. Yeah, we're just calling there for such a small bet. It's fine. Terrible. I don't know. I guess that could be a value bet, maybe. He might have been just deciding if he wants to value bet there or not. That would mostly make sense. This guy will skew random hands. 3 flat. Great spots. 2. Chasing. Alright, queen 8 suited's a raise. The king queen on this board, we're just kind of checking. 8s are fine to call in the small blind. I know calling the small blinds, you know, theoretically not great. I do need to study up on my calling ranges. Small blind versus big blind. And 4-bet ranges. Small blind versus big blind. It's less prevalent, like NL50, NL100. People aren't 3-betting enough. But when you run into the random guys who do play up to like NL200, NL500, their 3-betting ranges out of the big blind are obviously significantly a walk the bases. Come on. On this table, 70%, 30%, 27%, 50%. Crazy. Fold Jack 5, fold D3. But yeah, so anyways, point being is we need to study up on those. And we're going to call the 3-bet here. Queens. Ace is terrible. This guy's just going to go bet with me. But anyways, the whole point of this is like when you're up against guys who drastically are 3-betting you, you have to start calling stronger ranges. Next back. Alright, so we're just going to value bet here. He's going to have some bad aces. And some like 7s and 8s, but yeah, it's just a value bet. Yeah, of course he does. Of course he does. Whatever. But yeah, anyways, calling like because they're 3-betting so often, calling becomes pretty good in those spots. With like queens, kings, aces, even because their range is going to be so wide. The calling just basically trap them, keep their range wide because they are aggressive post flop as well, so you can just take a lot of chips off of them. I don't know. I guess I call. Small 3-bet, super deep, I think. Whatever, we're in position, we just call here. We flop some straights. Some nutted hands, like jack, queen, king, something like that. Goes really small again. I think I'm just going to float him here with the ace. We are 3-betting the king, queen. 3x open, maybe we could probably go 12.5 or something. Fold 10-4, fold king deuce. So with that bump up, I think we got back up to probably 200 or so. Or up to 300. 310, 39. Okay, king 6 suited, we're going to raise, fold king 4. Fold 9-4. Ralph Sapinka. He folds. And we raise the ace 10 suited. I think with our hand, we just could bet some portion of the time. I just think I am just going to bet. King check raises us. Okay. I mean, he is a mega spew. We just don't have anything. Okay, fold ace 2 suited, fold 3-4. Pocket 3s. I'm just going to fold. I don't want to call, so the nitty kid's too, like, 3-bet happy. Super nitty in his steals, though. Okay. What happened here? Raise, 3-bet cold call. I think we just pitch it with the ace 2 suited. Move on. No other tables open. 1-2 table, actually. Really does look pretty good. He's got to get marked. 2 suited, he's got to get marked. Okay. Okay, fold 9 deuce. Folding 7-4. This will be the craziest 100K bankroll challenge, I think, if we actually hit it. Going from NL50, 2,500 to NL1K and 100K bankroll in 6 months. Would be a pretty good run up, I would say. Okay, fold 9-3. 10-8, King 9, 9-5. Out of the big blind, we'll just defend the fours. Okay. So we have ace-5 some portion of the time. Okay, we're gonna check raise here. So we do flop second pair, we're going to call one. Okay, pick up a gutter. He does keep betting. I think we call one more. Interesting. I don't know if he would have folded that. Okay, guys. I think we're pretty much going to end the stream here.